If I was putting my money down on a bet, I'd bet on you guys.
Yeah. Bob Bovee has told his story around Bakersfield many times.
I joined the Naval Reserve. Or 42 maybe. I was still in college.
A college graduate, Bovee entered the service as an officer, an ensign attached to the USS Highlands, and yet he never served on that ship. He was attached to the Marines, serving on an assault craft for his first deployment to Iwo Jima.
My post is guiding these Amtraks who can't see the beach.
Okay.
And I'm up in the front of the boat with binoculars. The crew and my radioman, it's a 36-foot boat, they're in the back of the boat.
You're in the front of the boat.
Right, right up.
They're shooting at you.
Well, yeah, they were shooting at me.
Ensign Bovee guiding the fourth wave of boats onto Red Beach 1 and 2. He says Japanese positions on the beach allowed the first waves to reach shore, and then...
And they shot the hell out of them.
Bovee says enemy intelligence was monitoring their practice landings, and they knew where the boats were supposed to come ashore. But for some unknown reason, Bovee changed direction.
So I gave instructions to speed up, and we went a little further up. We turned around. Every man in my crew, except me, was sopping wet. The Japanese had thrown a huge, I don't know what kind of explosive, right where we had been in 3 practice landings.
From his position, he witnessed brutal combat on the beach, including Marines pinned down by a sniper until a flamethrower ended that threat.
He was burned to a crisp. And to show you how emotional everyone was, we all cheered. Seeing somebody burn, we shouldn't be cheering. We cheered.
His next assignment landed him off Okinawa, his mission to protect one of 3 ammunition ships standing by to supply U.S. forces. Bovee led one of several smoke-making vessels to hide those ships.
And the Japanese suicide kamikaze planes sunk 2 of them.
Not the one that you were providing
No,
smoke for.
Because I went upwind at a certain angle and released my smoke, and my ship was hidden both wide and high and didn't get sunk.
He was present when General Douglas MacArthur returned to the Philippines, a highly publicized moment of the war in the Pacific.
I was with him on one landing in the Philippine Islands, and he's a showman. The beach there was smooth, so you could take a boat right up on the sand. MacArthur got out of his boat like from here to the end of the house, and waded ashore with the camera shooting.
Bovee was also in Tokyo Bay on September 2nd, 1945, when the Japanese formally surrendered to Allied forces.
When he went aboard the battleship to make the Japanese sign, I was on a ship watching him with binoculars. Not everybody liked him, but he was a great general, and he won his battles.
Following the war, Bovee was sent to China for several months to bring a ship back to the West Coast. It was there he was presented with one of his few mementos from the war, a sword from a Japanese naval officer.
Took me right to it, and that's what I wanted.
Oh my goodness.
I've had it ever since.
He eventually returned home, met his wife Ruth Anna, and 8 months later they were married, but the honeymoon ended quickly.
We were married 3 months when I was ordered to Korea and flown. And I was over there for quite a long time.
In Korea, he was assigned to the USS Repose hospital ship that treated wounded Americans. He remembers when the Chinese flooded into Korea, turning the tide of that war, and one of the most famous moments when Marines were forced to retreat through frigid conditions across the Chosin Reservoir.
They built a bridge across that ravine, had all of our guys cross, and then they blew the bridge up. So the Chinese couldn't get across.
Bovee spent time in Washington, D.C. following the war and eventually retired and came back to Bakersfield. A few years ago, Bob lost his wife, Ruth, and spent a year trying to come to grips with it. During that time, he told an assembly at Liberty High School that it was his trip on the honor flight and visiting the Iwo Jima Memorial that brought him back.
It's hard to describe the change, peace that came over me. I come back from that monument a different person, and life has been pretty good since then.
And now he says he's the same Bakersfield native that signed up for duty a lifetime ago.